Rodgers on winning, big deal or no big deal?
Well, it's a big deal to me. I understand that he's ultra cool. He's the man. He's a bad man. Make no mistake about it. He's that special. He's the best talent-wise that I have ever seen in NFL history at the quarterback position. Having said that, considering the level of inconsistency, the struggles that the Green Bay Packers have had, basically throwing him into the wolves, we could sit up there and be mediocre. We don't have to prioritize certain things. Why? Because we got Aaron Rodgers. He'll come to the rescue. He'll save the day. That seems to have been the attitude of the Green Bay Packers for far too long. And if it were not for the greatness of Aaron Rodgers, they would not have been in the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned, more than half the time over the last 6 years. This man is the man. Having said all of that, he doesn't, I'm never going to insult or accuse this guy of not prioritizing winning. I just think that it sounds like somebody who's resigned to the fact that he may never win again playing for this organization. I hope I'm wrong. I certainly don't know that to be the case, but when I hear quotes like that coming from a quarterback of his magnitude, it concerns me, because it says to me, I can only do but so much. There's but so much I can do. I'm limited because of the pieces around me, and there's really nothing else that I can say or do about it, and he's resigned to that reality. I don't want to hear resignation from somebody as great as this man, because not that he can do it by himself, because he can't. He can only throw it. Other people have got to catch it. A good running game would help. A damn stout defense is something that he's begging for, to be quite honest with you, and Aaron Rodgers deserves whatever the hell he wants. He's just that special. The flip side to it, however, is that he's too great for me to hear those words coming out of his mouth, because I sense resignation, and that concerns me. And if I'm Ted Thompson and McCarthy and those boys, it would certainly concern me.
I got no problem with what Aaron Rodgers said. I'm not concerned at all. Now, here comes some nuance, Stephen A. You ready? There's going to be some nuance here.
Sure.
All right?
All right. I can appreciate it here.
Okay, here it comes. Aaron Rodgers is not Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, for that matter. Those guys give you the impression. That's why, like, when political stuff comes up around them, the fact of the matter is I get the sense that they don't think about much that's not football. It's just a sense I get. Maybe they're great philosophers, but that would shock me. I get the sense from Tom Brady that the only thing he thinks about day and night is football, and that's why he's Tom Brady.
Outside of the wife.
From Aaron Rodgers.
Outside of the wife. Let's not forget the wife.
And I don't get that sense from Aaron Rodgers.
You don't tell me he think about football and he ain't think about Giselle. He think about Giselle. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I get the sense from Aaron Rodgers that he is a self-reflective, inquisitive person who's interested in the world around him. I get that sense from him, that he's not just a football meathead like the way we like our quarterbacks usually, right? And so maybe that affects him negatively in a way. Maybe it doesn't rally the troops the same way, because there are a lot of football meatheads, and maybe they're also interesting football players, but the culture is more militaristic than, let's say, basketball or baseball. Everyone buys in. Everyone's pulling for one common goal, and it's a physical, brutal sport with its roots in the military. And so people don't maybe respond to a guy who's not just football 24 hours a day as Tom Brady is. So maybe that's a legitimate criticism. I will say that Aaron Rodgers, the standards for him is different than everyone else. It's more like LeBron James standards than anyone else. It's not like he hasn't won a Super Bowl. He's not only won a Super Bowl, but won a Super Bowl with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and over 300 yards passing. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with a higher quarterback rating than the second highest quarterback rating of all time. That was in the Kimes article, second only to Steve Young. Right? So it's not like he hasn't achieved on the highest level. He has, but we expect more from him. So I understand why you say he sounds resigned in a way. And maybe people's kind of intuition about this, your gut sense as a football fan about this is right. Man, if Aaron Rodgers was more like Tom Brady that way, football just 24 hours a day, he'd be even better.
Max.
But in that case, what I have to say is, Aaron Rodgers already better than Tom Brady. He's the best who ever did it. His peak is higher than the peak of any football player who played the position of all time. So what you're really saying in that case is the best ever could be even better if he tweaked this part of his attitude. If Babe Ruth was a better base stealer, he'd have been an even better baseball player. Well, so what? I mean, he's still the best who ever did it. And finally, I'll say, part of who he is, even as a quarterback, is part of his personality. So the idea that if only you could tweak this little something in Aaron Rodgers' personality, he'd be even better. But maybe you lose something else. You know, Aaron Rodgers is who he is. He's the best I've ever seen. I find him a more interesting character because he is interested in things other than football, and he makes it work.